So Paulie Malignaggi recently leaked that there's been rumours from PBC that they're trying to make Errol Spence v Tim Tszyu. Ultimately, this would be a comeback fight for Errol Spence. He's not had a fight since he lost to Terence Crawford at 147. It would be a comeback at 154. And Tim Tszyu, of course, he won his last fight, but had a number of bad losses, 2 against Fundora and a beat down from Murtazaev. He got absolutely brutalised in that fight. And even in his comeback win, he doesn't look like the same Tim Tszyu. He's not the same Tim Tszyu. His punch resistance isn't there. His warrior spirit isn't there. He's not as sharp as he once was. But honestly, the exact same could be said for Errol Spence. Because we've not seen Errol Spence fight in so long. It's been years Errol Spence has been out of the ring. So it's almost impossible to predict the Errol Spence we're going to be getting when he shows up. If he shows up. Not when he shows up. If he shows up, if that fight ever gets made, then we're going to see what kind of Errol Spence we're seeing. The videos of Errol Spence training that have been leaked on social media so far don't look great. Errol Spence looks slow. He looks plodding. He already was a plodding fighter. He was that type of fighter who stalk you, walk you down, apply pressure. But when he was younger, he was faster, more crisp, mix it to the head and to the body. No doubt he would try and mix it to the head and to the body, but he's nowhere near as crisp as he once was. Nowhere near as crisp as he once was, in my opinion. And all this time out of the ring will only make that worse, right? Both guys, in my opinion, are removed from their primes. There's no doubt about that in my mind. I don't really like Tim Tszyu as a comeback fight for Errol Spence because it's a dangerous fight. Tim Tszyu's not the prime Tim Tszyu anymore. Yes, he's, had some beatdowns. Yes, he's taken some big shots. Yes, he's probably not got the warrior spirit he once had because his chin's been cracked a couple of times. He's been through wars and he's given up. He gave up against Fundora. He got a beatdown against Murtazaev. Do you know what I mean? He's been through a lot, is what I'm trying to say. Not that I don't think Tim Tszyu's still a good boxer, because I still think the core of what made Tim Tszyu good in terms of his shot selection and his feinting game and his ability to operate in the mid-range and close range, I do think he's still got those abilities. I just think he's just not as good as what he once was. That's what I think. He's just not as good as what he once was. And Errol Spence, on the other hand, I think Errol Spence has really regressed. I don't want to see Errol Spence come back and fight anyone near the level of a Tim Tszyu in his comeback fight. In his comeback fight, Errol Spence should not be fighting anyone you've really even heard of. Errol Spence should be facing a guy in the top 50 for his comeback fight. You face a guy in the top 50, a guy in the top 30, third time round. Okay, now he's ready for a Tim Tszyu. And that Tim Tszyu fight, hopefully, Tim Tszyu fights another sort of low-ranked guy. Both guys are on winning streaks. Now this is a big fight again. Obviously, it's not a big fight again. Even if that fight happens now, it's a big fight, but there's not much momentum. Neither guy has very much momentum at all. So it's from a business point of view, I struggle. But obviously, if you're a promoter and you want to sign like a 3-fight deal with Errol Spence, you're gonna be fronting that money for him to fight those low-level guys, and then when you get that big payday, then that's when you're hoping to cash out. But we'll see, man. We'll see, because ultimately, it is a guy. Both guys are guys who are past their primes. Neither one of them is going to win this fight and go on to fight or go on to win a world title. They may go on to fight for a world title. I could see that, actually, and would be a good move. I think if Errol Spence could beat Tim Tszyu, then you may as well put Errol Spence in there for a title fight. But it has to be the right fight, because Murtazaev would rip him up. Fundora would be a good fight. Boots would be a good fight. That fight would sell a lot. Him v Boots would sell a lot. And that is probably the payday that Errol Spence should go out on, because I think Boots would beat him pretty easily. But it'd be a decent payday for Errol Spence, because we've seen Errol Spence shift a ton of tickets a few years ago. But that was a few years ago. People move on fast in today's boxing landscape. But we know Boots can shift tickets as well. He shifted 8,000 in Philadelphia. That's no small feat at all in 2026. So to sell 8,000 tickets basically on your own, that's not nothing in my opinion, right? But yeah, let me know what you guys think of this fight. It's been loosely reported on. Paulie Malignaggi basically said that's what he heard from PBC. So nothing's been confirmed, no dates, no venue, nothing like that. But if this fight happens, what do you think happens? Who do you think wins this fight? Do you think Tim Tszyu could beat Errol Spence, or do you think Errol Spence will return to form, get a huge win over Tim Tszyu, and then go on to fight for world titles again. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Another episode of the Seth Solo Side Quest in the bag, and I'm out. Peace.